All right. So I'm going to share my screen so you can follow along on the slides. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome. It says to mute your microphone, but you don't have to because it's only me and you. And you don't need to sit with Jariel. I know he's relaxing right now. That's totally fine. This is for you. So this workshop is called I Wonder. So we're going to welcome you. We're going to read, do a reading tip, and then we can give you time to practice, or you can practice when you read to him before bed. And then we'll talk about the reflection and any updates. So, of course, there's only just me and you here, and you're prepared, you're here on time. We're ready to learn something new. You're present, you're always courteous. And if you have any questions, please jump in at any time to ask. So why are we here? So with Springboard, your child has a goal. We learn and practice to meet this goal. You read and ask questions, and your child gets a reading boost. So today's reading tip includes reading the cover of the book and wonder, reading the back of the book and wonder, and to read one page and wonder. So the steps we'll talk about today help your child make predictions. So during these steps, we'll help your child look at different parts of the book and think about what the story might be about. Eventually, your child will be able to do this on their own. So why? Making predictions is a great way to get into a book and get your child ready to read. It gets them excited and interested in what they're about to read. If your child can be interested and motivated by a book from the beginning, they're more likely to practice the skills of reading, figuring out tricky words, understanding the story, and sounding like a storyteller. So we say this at every workshop, but the most important thing to do is always ask questions. Asking your child questions before, during, and after reading is an easy way to coach them to improve their reading. All right, so like I said, this workshop is called I Wonder. So we're talking about making predictions. So you can use any book that you and your child are reading. Right here, I have a book called Click, Clack, Moo, I Love You. So you look at the cover and say, what do you wonder? And then give them the sentence prompt of, I wonder, and maybe you'll give them an example. So maybe you'd say, I wonder what this duck is making. Or, I wonder, what is the duck going to do with this paint? Or maybe you could say, I wonder, who is he saying I love you to? You can make up the questions, any questions that go along with the pictures. And then you want to take turns modeling like this. So you'll say, I wonder something, and then ask your child to say, what do you wonder? Have them tell you what they wonder about the pictures on the cover of the book. So another thing that you can do is read the back of the book and wonder. So normally books do have something on the back, especially picture books. And this back actually doesn't have any words. It just has this picture. So you're wondering, what do you think will happen in the story? What will be the problem or the conflict? And take turns wondering. So if you were looking at this picture, you might say, I wonder what's going to happen in this story. It looks like a farmer and a horse are dancing. Why are they dancing? And then take turns wondering and let your child have an opportunity to wonder as well. So then you get into the meat of the book. You go to the first page or the second page. So you could ask your child, what do you think will happen in this story? Who do you think these characters are? I wonder, does the farmer work by himself on the farm? Or maybe, I wonder, is it heavy to scoop all this hay? Or I wonder, what is the farmer doing? How is he fixing the fence? And also pointing out the characters and wondering who the characters are. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, and generally he's pretty good making up things or what he thinks.
Good. Yes, he's definitely imaginative, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And have you been trying to ask questions like while you're reading books? Or has he been asking any questions?
Yeah, I've been asking questions, but he does more questions than me because he stops me really quick.
He does.
He is really on point, yes.
Good.
Because if I'll forget, he's like, hold on, mommy, hold on, but look. And then we'll bring up a question on the book.
Awesome. So he's noticing things. That's great.
Yeah, and he'll say wait, mommy, what you think? And he'll ask me, what you think will happen next? I'm like, we're gonna wait and see.
That's great. So he's making.
So he does better than me. I feel like he's teaching me.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, that's great. He's learning at school.
Yeah, he really is.
That's great. I know. I have to say with all of the kids, I have 5 kids in my group, and I have to say with all of them, they're all making progress. Like from the first week to now, I'm like, you guys really know these letter sounds. They're like picking it up so quickly.
I know.
Proud of them.
Especially because they started without knowing technically not that much.
I know. The past 2 years have just been so crazy for these little kids.
Yeah.
All right. So remember today's reading tip, to read the cover, read the back, and read a page and wonder. Continue to ask questions and make predictions like what's going to happen next. Springboard always has extra questions that you could use. So what do you think the story will be about? What kind of characters do you think will be in this story? How do you think this story will begin or end? What do you think the conflict or problem of the story will be? What happened before this page? What will happen after? And especially asking questions like that, it's getting the kids to use that terminology of before and after. All right, so do you have any questions about Connect? You've been logging your hours and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go every day because if I just read, because sometimes I'll read before bedtime.
Yep.
Or what we do is sometimes if I don't do it at night because I drop my daughter out in school first. Yep. So while we wait for him to go in, I'll read in the car as well.
Oh, awesome. That's perfect.
So that's why I'm like, I just log it during like the week, or like I take a day and log out the hours, because if I don't read, also my daughter, she's really good. She'll read with him as well.
That's awesome. No, and that's totally fine. It's on your own time. So that's totally fine. And I appreciate you logging those hours and coming to all of these workshops and doing everything. I really appreciate it. So there is a reflection on Connect that you can fill out after this workshop. And again, you don't have to do it tonight, but just eventually if you could fill that out. And if you have any questions on that, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
No problem.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good night.
No problem. Have a good night. You too.
Bye.
Bye.